Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the last episode of the 2023 season of the Husker Hype Radio podcast. Folks, I'm Eddie Rosenthal. That's Aaron Worsfold. Nebraska yet again lost in another freaking defensive battle, 13-10 to those guys across the border, over east of the Missouri, the Iowa Hawkeyes. Aaron, it stings. I'm just gonna say this: I'm Husker hype, but buddy, am I glad that that we get a little bit of a break. The season's over. I mean, I know the recruit talk is already coming out. We're already talking about commits coming in and transfer portal, but just not having to, have no skin in the game for this championship season, this championship series, whatever weekend. It's a little nice. I'm not gonna lie.
How dare you, Eddie? How fucking dare you? I would give up my right two nuts to be in the bowl game this year. To have one more month of talking about Husker football, I would love nothing more. And then we'd go to the bowl game and have a fun ass time. So I guess I just respectfully disagree with what you're saying.
No. Don't get me wrong. I wish we would have won the game. I don't wish the season was over. Like, I did say I wish the season was over. I'm just glad that we don't have to go
We're
through
off the
another.
roller coaster. The roller coaster's reached the station, and we can catch our breaths. Is what you're trying to say?
Right. But if we had 6 wins, and there was a bowl game, I would have been fired up. We would have been there.
Right. Yeah.
We would
I
have been
get you.
there like we were in Lincoln, Nebraska for the game. Aaron and I sat next to each other. Um, South end zone, wind to our face. We didn't care. There was fireball in our system, all bundled up. I mean, it just, I don't know, dude.
Oh well, what I will say, Eddie. So the first attempt for points for the Hawkeyes, blocked field goal, and that was all because of section 16. The block that kick chant. It was because of us. That's why that shit was blocked.
We had two of those, bud. We
Yeah.
had two of those. Block that
Uh.
kick. Block that kick. I bet you could have heard that on CBS or whatever it was on. I
Yeah.
guarantee you could have heard it on CBS. Guys, if you heard that on CBS, that was section 16B2 up on row 97 cheering on the rest of the section. It caught on like wildfire, and we had two block kicks, and that was fucking sick. We almost had the last block kick. I think we both thought it was blocked.
Dude,
We hugged each
yeah.
other right away.
I said it was blocked again because Buddy, I can't remember who jumped the line, but we got a really good jump on the line. He hurdled it, and I was like, "We got it again." They missed it, and then it went through, and I was like, "No way!" And then the other heartbreak was the refs were like, "Oh, let's review it to make sure there's no time left." And yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah,
It's like just I'm fucking leaving, dude. You're gonna give us 1 second, one pity second, basically, to oh for all the rest of the fucked up calls that you did on Nebraska for the whole entire season. Go, yeah, yeah. Give us one more fucking second. That'll mean the fucking world to me. Fuck off, dude. I'm also a little pissed off, dude. I'm also a little pissed off, man, because we talked about this last podcast. Does this mean if we don't make a bowl game, then it's going to be a bad season? And yeah, Aaron, I really think it does now, man. I really think it does.
yeah.
Just where in the middle of the season after beating Illinois, and who do we beat after them? Purdue and
Purdue,
Northwestern.
Northwestern.
That stretch of three right there on fire, and then lost three straight after that. It's four straight, right?
Yeah, four straight. We were
Four
five and
straight.
three, and we ended up 5-7.
Four straight losses to end the season, dude.
Yeah.
And against teams who have had loss streaks before us.
Yep. Yep. We mentioned that before. Maryland was on like a 4-game losing streak. Wisconsin was on a losing streak. And who was the other team that we should have beat that we was on a losing streak? Michigan State was on a losing streak.
Maryland.
Yeah, Maryland, Michigan State, and Wisconsin all on losing streaks. We lose them. Iowa's like not a good football team. They scored 13 points against us. We had a great defensive showing. They really weren't moving the ball. They only had a total of They only had a total of 250 yards.
It's kind of the same thing that we've been saying these last losses of games. Defense played great, did some things, blocked kicks and stuff, but when it came down to it, there was a few tackles that were missed that kind of made the game, that gave Iowa the edge to go ahead and win the game. I mean, right after when Chuba threw the interception in the last minute, they had that big run down to the 15. I think it was a 22-yard run up the fucking middle. 22-yard run up the middle. And then there was one where Reimer missed. It was a play. It was like 3rd and 10. It was a little bubble screen, and the dude bounced off of an Iowa player, like spun off of him, like all flustered and shit. And then 2 guys missed. I know Reimer was one of them.
Yep.
And that's not, like, yeah, our offense should score more, but also our defense should make these fundamental plays that they're not making. And Iowa does. And Iowa won the game.
Yep. And I think you make a good point there, Eddie. I mean, like, we only scored 10 points. If you were to tell me, like, I only scored 13 points, I was like, we win the game. We won the game. 13 to 16, 13, 17, something like that. Nebraska wins. Just couldn't find ways to score. Purdy only he actually threw for 189 yards, which is quite a bit for Husker football so far this year. But the one that I circled was 30 carries for only 75 yards. That was the difference for that right there, I think.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably the best run defense besides Michigan we've played so far this whole season. And yeah, shout out to Purdy for throwing the ball for 189 yards. I don't think that it's his fault that we lost the game at all.
I mean, he did have 3 turnovers, 2 fumbles, and an interception.
He did have one where Buddy didn't even touch him, and he's running the football like this.
And he had Green in front of him. Yeah, he was carrying a loaf of bread, had Green in front of him, was about ready to tuck it, like kind of bumped his knee a little bit and dropped the ball.
Yeah.
And then we also fumbled the punt. Ethan Nation fumbled it, and they got it at like inside the 15 for sure, inside the 20.
That was in the first quarter, and we stopped them. We blocked the field goal.
That was the one that we blocked. Yep, exactly. I think that might have been the second one, but yeah. Anyway,
that was in our end zone too, right?
That was in the far end zone, so I think it would have been probably first quarter then.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that was their first missed field goal because it went from punt to missed field goal. So,
yeah, man. I mean,
I it's hard to pull positives out of this loss in this season, but one that I want to pull is Jalen Lloyd's a dog. I fucking love that kid. He tied for the most 50-yard plus touchdown receptions of the year with Marvin Harrison Jr. with 3.
Right. Marvin Harrison Jr., that guy's a dog, and that guy's going to be playing in the NFL. Yeah. And guess what? Jalen Lloyd's a true freshman. Malachi Coleman's a true freshman. This offense is young, buddy. This offense is young, and we got Grant Bricks, who just recruited yesterday, the #1 offensive tackle in the state of Iowa, coming to Nebraska when Iowa just beat Nebraska. That says something about Matt Rule. That says something about this Cornhusker football team.
Mm-hmm.
Iowa didn't bring the fucking truck to his high school. Nebraska did. You know? Dude, yeah. I'm fired up for the future. I am. And you're right. It doesn't seem like we can take a lot out of this loss, but out of this season, I mean, it was 1-score games. You take it back to Scott Frost, and I think we're just a little bit what's it called? Scarred by that. We don't the 1-score losses have haunted us for years. A statistical anomaly. And Nebraska seems to just be plagued by the 1-score losses. Put that in the fucking poetry books. Right, we
were voted the most unlucky team again this year. And when Matt Rule was asked about it, he said, "I don't think we're unlucky. I think we just need to get better." All of 5 of our 7 losses were on basically the last drive of the game. And yeah, I think the positives are we have a young team, like you said, running backs coming back.
Gabe Ervin and Ramir Johnson both coming back.
And then the main thing we got to worry about on offense is the quarterback. I mean, we already talked about it last week, but it sounds like if I was a betting man, I don't think Jeff Sims is coming back. I feel like he's going to figure out a way to graduate and leave.
Honestly, brother, I don't want Jeff Sims to come back. As much as thank you for what you tried to do for this program, but you didn't do shit. So, I mean, I think it's time where we shake hands and part separate ways, you know?
Yeah. And the thing is I feel like Chuba doesn't get hurt. Have him for the whole spring, summer, have him for fall camp. He plays decent next year. Not lights out, but we don't turn the ball over and we don't have to play three quarterbacks and he's good all year. And then Danny Kaelin gets a year to practice and be a freshman, and then he'll come and he'll take the role after that.
Dude, I honestly think that we do need to bring in a transfer quarterback, though. I don't know if
Yeah,
it's going to be one of the top notch guys. If it's going to be the guy from Washington State, it's not going to be Ward or Will Howard is a guy that I kind of liked when it first came out, but now I don't know. I just think we need someone in there with Chuba to compete because competition breeds success. You know that, and we don't want Chuba to go in there thinking, "Hey, I already got the starting role this year. Rule didn't bring in anybody." If there's two guys battling back and forth, that's better for both of them. You know.
yeah. Well, I
And
feel
if
like
one
that's
goes
how it
down,
is.
which Nebraska at the quarterback position has been injury prone in the past couple of years, you always need a backup guy, one that's ready to play.
Yeah, that is a good point because depth. You need depth because
Right.
I mean
And
Harburg's just not going to be able to play quarterback.
I think Harburg honestly changes positions.
Yeah, so do I.
I don't think he transfers either. I think Harburg, he's a Nebraska kid, born and raised. He wants to do whatever this team needs to do to. He'll say, "Coach, you put me where you want. I'll fucking gain 100 pounds and play center for you if you need me to." That's the
Yeah,
kind of guy that Heinrich Harburg is. You
yeah.
know,
I think you're right.
that's the kind of fucking, and that's how many guys. That's the kind of guys that we need on this football team. Coach, I'll play any position, whatever the team needs to do to win.
Yeah,
Um, I mean, there's some guys too that want to return as well. Marcus Washington, he wants to return. Hopefully, the waiver or whatever NCAA shit turns out. But if we get Marcus back, that's a huge senior leader back on the team, dude. I don't know about IGC. I guess nobody's really talked about him. That might have been his last year and doesn't have a chance for returning.
I don't know about that. I have no idea about IGC, but I haven't heard shit.
Yeah. I really do like where we're at on offense, bro. I really do.
And I love what we're on defense.
I love where we're at on defense. I love where, dude. And how about the disrespect that the defense got in the Big Ten,
Yeah,
all Big Ten rankings? You're
yeah,
gonna tell me that there's guys that are like eight different guys that are better than either T Rob or Polar Bear?
right.
You're out of your goddamn mind, bud. You're
Yeah,
fucking doing tripping acid every single day. Whoever made that fucking Big Ten poll
yeah. I
pisses me
think
off.
the thing that sucks though is like if we were to win like a couple more games, unfortunately,
Right.
we would have had more guys on there. But the fact that we didn't,
Right.
it's like, all right, whatever.
Right. If we're 10-2 Iowa and we put up T Rob and Nash are putting up those numbers, they're going to be in that discussion to be first, second team. Jamari Butler as well, who had led the team in I think led the team in sacks and tackles for loss. Jamari Butler, guys who is an underclassman, I think. Nick Heinrich, he's hanging up the cleats, I guess. Reimer won't be there. So possibly going to be JB, John Bullock, and MJ Sherman back at linebacker. And then I mean defensive back, we got the dog still. I think Quentin Newsom's going to be the only one leaving. And
Yeah, I
Phelan
think
Sanford. But
was
he's
mostly a
just that
special
backup.
teams guy. Yeah.
Right. Deshaun Singleton, he's back. Marquise and his brother, the Buford Bros.
Fuck.
Dude,
Dude,
Husker Hype is already back.
Buford only played like a few games and he was like an immediate
Yeah, he was the
yeah.
leading tackler, I think, during the Wisconsin game. So, I mean, just all this fucking firepower that's coming back. And we didn't make a bowl game, but think about how pissed off these guys, T Rob, Buford,
Mm-hmm.
fucking super 6-year seniors that have been with this program for what's going to be their 6th year, how fucking hungry they're going to get to
Mm-hmm.
get a bowl
And
game to
Coach Rule made a good point too. He's like all the younger guys, they haven't been here for the ups and downs, the one score losses. To them, it's like, oh, if we were just this much better, if we could just work this much harder. then we'll be there. So that's kind of a good mentality to have as well, because they're not like brainwashed with the whole curse and shit.
Right. That's true. Is Nebraska cursed?
No,
No,
no.
we're not cursed. I think maybe we were under Scott Frost, and now the curse has been lifted, but it's just harder for the people, like you were saying, that are a little brainwashed that were under the curse to be like, oh, this is real life. We can actually win games. We
Yeah.
don't have to throw interceptions at the last minute.
And I think people just need to stop talking about it, because it's not a thing if you don't talk about it.
That's true. You put a gun in the scene and it's going to get used.
Yeah, exactly, Eddie.
Yep.
I did have a couple stats. These are your total stats. We were
Like
ninth in the
gambling
Big
challenge
Ten.
stats.
No,
What are the
no,
stats?
these are just the stats that we finished with, like yards per game and shit. We were ninth in the Big Ten, 312
Oh,
total. We were 13th in the Big Ten in passing yards. We were ASP, second in rushing yards with 176. We just couldn't score. We just couldn't score either. We only scored 18 points a game. That's 12th in the Big Ten.
18 points a game.
And we allowed 18.3 points a game. That's 10th in the Big Ten. We did end up ninth in the nation though in rushing yards allowed per game, and that was third in the Big Ten. And we already know pass defense. Our pass defense wasn't great. Ninth overall in the Big Ten.
Fuck, bud. Wait, is this pod 29 or 20?
This is 30. It's 30, baby.
Podcast 30, a month of pods, folks, for Aaron and Ed over at Husker Radio. Pretty fitting that it's the last one of recapping the season. Don't get me wrong. We'll be here all freaking year covering Husker football.
And we'll talk a little bit of college football. You know, we got to cover the bowl games and the championship stuff. So we'll be around. This is not the end of Aaron and Ed.
Right. Hey, we're analysts. All right.
We're
beer drinking analysts.
Yeah. Did you want to? Do you have any grades for the offense, defense? Do you have any grades for the season that you want to throw out there?
Let's. Do you want to talk about special teams? How we missed? What's up with Alvano, dude? He's freaking spot on when he makes a kick, like through the middle in good hands. Could have been good for 10 yards more when he makes the kick. In good hands. That's where Alvano is every single time. When it's not made, fucking
it's in the next zip code.
Yeah, it's in the next. Dude, it was in the opposite end zone that we were in. Alvano's kick that he missed. And he kicked it so wide left. There's all the names, like there's a row of names for the Hall of Fame. We've been in Lincoln, you know what I'm talking about. North end zone. Buddy kicked it all the way to Johnny Rogers, who is the last row on the left, dude. Like he was trying to, I don't know what's up with that, dude. I think it's got to be something you said at the game. I think you said tight butt, you said loose butthole, whatever. Like something up with his, like something.
Something's wrong with his butt. He had some butt stuff going on today.
Yeah, he's got just his butt's a little too puckered before
I'll
he goes
honest,
there.
I don't remember much of what I said during the game. No, we got a little rowdy.
No, you looked at me and thought you had that puckered butt or something like that.
I don't know, dude. Yeah, I agree though, because you make a very good point. That's just true. And I feel like he'll be better next year. I mean, I swear, I hope so. He's on scholarship and he's a true freshman this year.
Yeah, you just hope it's not like a Connor Culp thing where he was great for the year and then the last year that he was there, it's like, is this motherfucker a kicker for?
Or maybe he's only good at like 45 plus yards or 40 plus yards. Like he can't hit the close ones. Is that what it is? I hope not.
He's just got too big of a dick where he swings too hard.
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah. Yeah, that could be it. What else, bud? What else? I know there's still a lot more stuff I want to talk about. I mean, let's do offensive and defensive MVP
for the season. So that's what you're saying?
For the season. I'll start off with start off with the offense, a little bit harder. I think offensive MVP has to be Emmett Johnson.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too.
Yeah, I think we can both agree on that. A guy coming in, who's going to be a 4-string at the start of the season. People were like, so Emmett Johnson is going to be a starting running back. And Emmett Johnson carried the ball well, didn't turn it over maybe once, maybe twice. and ground and pounded and led us to being a second rushing team in the Big Ten. You know, he didn't lose games for us.
Yeah, I like that, Eddie. That's a good one.
Yeah. And then defensive MVP. This one's a little more hard, but I got one on the top of my head. Aaron, you go ahead and say yours if you got one.
It's hard to pick one, but like my instant like reaction is to say like Ty Robinson or Nash Hutmacher.
Yeah, those guys. I mean, that front line, dude, you could put there was probably 7 guys that rotated in that line this year that was like he can start and he can play the whole game type thing. And it's so good that we have that many guys because they're all refreshed, they're all hungry, ready to go in. And it's really great to have that kind of depth, especially at defense, like something that we haven't had in a while. When you think about it, like offensive line, those guys usually stay in the whole game and you don't rotate your offensive line because those guys got a connection. But defense, you're just in there to fucking get nasty and make plays, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You fucking get the hungriest dogs in there, the guys with the most energy. Hey, go get the damn football, boy. Huh? Go fetch. Get the football. All right? Mine is going to be Mr. Tommy Hill. How about Tommy, dude? I mean, did any other guys make interceptions this season other than Tommy?
Yeah,
I think
Javin Wright has 2, Quentin had 1, Gifford had 1, and Omar Brown had 1. So we had 5, 6 guys that had an interception. Tommy
Gifford
Hill
was,
at the most, he had 4.
yeah. And they were in crucial times, dude. Tommy Hill had what we both thought was going to be the game sealing interception against Iowa in the last minute. How emotional was that last minute, dude? Just a swing of we're beating Iowa to 15 seconds left.
And they have
Are
the
you
ball. Yeah.
fucking
And they're
serious?
like,
What did we say, dude? The last person with the ball wins the game. We said that in
yep.
the last podcast, and that's what
Yes,
it
we
came
did.
down to. All right. But on the Tommy Hill, though, dude. Guy can play football, and he's coming back. I think Tommy might be an underclass. Oh, no. Tommy's going to be a senior next year. I came in. Did you come in early enough to see who was walking?
No.
I didn't see anybody
Tommy
walking
Hill
out,
is listed as a junior. You're right.
bro. So we got Tommy for one more year, and I think he might have tied the Big Ten with pass breaks up, which was like 12 or 13. So we got dogs, dude. We got guys that are coming back. I'm fired up.
9 passes defended. I don't know. I can't find the other one, but he had 9 total.
Nice.
Yeah, and you got to give your hats off to Gifford. He played hard. I hope he comes back too. I think he has a chance to come back if he wants to.
Yeah, dude. And I think what we were talking about a little bit earlier is that these guys want to come back, man. They want to, get into the postseason and do something to turn this program around. It's a team mentality. I think the mentality is definitely different than what it was with Mr. Scott.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm excited.
Hats off to Coach Rule.
Hats off, Rule. We love you. But also, I mean, we probably, in all honesty, Scott's first year after Mike Riley, we were probably saying the same thing. This is a different team. These guys are ready to play. They're fired up.
Yeah, you're right. And like it's just a change. Like, oh, we got our guy, Scott Frost is back. And this was the most ones we've had since 2016. I can't remember when Scott Frost started, but I can't imagine that might have been one of his first years.
Frost started in 19. So yeah, this is Rule has had more wins than Scott Frost ever has had.
Rule was coach for that last year was his 5th year. So I think 2017 was his first year.
Okay. I got a Scott Frost make Nebraska.
So that means that 5 and 7 year 2016, that would have been the year that Mike Riley made the bowl game, not winning 6 games. That's the same year.
Yep. I would have taken a bowl game if somebody invites us to a bowl game. I'd gladly accept that.
Yeah.
Gladly accept that.
I got my season's grades for each of the offense and defense here. Pass offense, I went F. Couldn't throw the ball. That was the
mean, there
Achilles
was,
heel.
except for those big plays to Jalen Lloyd and Malachi Coleman, which was good to see. I mean, we had Trey Palmer last year. He made a lot more of those, but just good to see that we could get the ball downfield a little bit. Besides that, yeah, Aaron, I'd say F, D
Yeah,
minus
D
if
minus
you
F. Yeah.
if you you know touch the teacher's titty or something. I don't know.
Rush offense. I was between a B plus and an A minus on this one. The reason why I'm feeling more of a B plus is I feel like the rush offense did, like you can't do everything with it. It wasn't like we were running down everybody's throats.
Dude, I don't even know if I want to. You said A
I
minus
wrote
and B plus.
I wrote down a B plus.
I almost want to. I don't even know if I'd go A or B, but I might go C plus.
C plus for
Because
Ed.
we can say, yeah, they were the best rushing team in the Big Ten, but it's because we couldn't pass the ball.
Right.
And half of those run plays were from our fucking quarterback. Like how many times did Emmett Johnson or anybody, Anthony Grant, break a 70-yard touchdown, a 70-yard rushing touchdown, or break a play more than 60 yards? I don't know if we had a rushing play more than 60 yards, you know? And while it kept us in the game, it never really won it for us. Just
Heinrich had a couple of 50 pluses and Purdy had a 50 plus against Wisconsin. I think it's the same thing you could say about. You're right, but I think it's the same thing you could. Yeah, I think the longest rush yards or rushing touchdown Emmett Johnson had was only like 30, 40 yards, 37 yards, something like that. But it's the same thing that you'd say about the pass offense is like there was every once in a while the big downfield throw or big downfield explosive plays, but for the most part, I feel like that it accomplished what it needed to accomplish.
But we gave the pass offense an F.
Yeah, but that's why I'm giving the rush offense a B plus because when they know you're running the ball, and we still are rushing it for 176 yards a game. Can't be mad about that. I mean, they know what they're going to do. Iowa figured it out, and they had the best rush defense. All they did was stack the box and make us throw the ball. So that's why those stats were like that. But I think overall, for the grand scheme of the season, I'm saying B plus. Eddie, you're going C.
I'm going C.
C.
That'd be a good Twitter poll. We should do
Yeah.
or a Instagram poll.
Yeah.
What would
I'll
you
get that
rate the
up.
passed off or the rush defense or rush?
What do you
offense?
What do you want to give the overall offense this year, Eddie?
Overall offense. Let's go D.
Yeah.
Honestly, they might have failed, bud.
The thing
20,
is I found
20, 30 fucking turnovers. That's an F, man.
minus 17.
You're giving the dog the homework.
Yeah.
You're giving the dog the homework. You're fucking letting him eat that shit.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah. That is it. Well, for me, like failing was anything below like an actual failing score, which was like a C minus. So I put a D, but I think you're right. F. It was a failure of an
Offense failed, man.
Pass defense rating.
Pass defense. I'm gonna say that was. What do you have?
I wrote down a C minus.
Okay. I might give him a C. I like that was probably one of their biggest
Achilles
problems.
heels. Yeah.
Right. But then they also did make some good pass breakups. We had 6 guys getting interceptions.
Maryland's Tagovailoa, he set the Big Ten passing record for total yards in a career, and he didn't throw that hard against us.
Right. So yeah, maybe I'd give him a C plus, maybe, man. We might be a little too hard on that pass defense. They overall, I think our defense was finished top 20 in the regular season. I don't have the stats, but maybe I'm gonna guarantee
we were only fifth in the Big Ten, so I'd find it hard to believe that we were top 20 overall. I gave our rush defense an A minus. A minus is what I'm giving them. There was only a couple times where it felt like people were running the ball hard on us, but it was never for an entire game, and it was never consistent.
Right. Yeah, I'd have to agree with you on that.
We finished 9th in the nation in that stat.
That's butter, baby.
It's butter.
Yeah, that's butter. Defense a lot easier to grade out than that offense.
My overall defense, I gave them a B plus. B
And
plus.
that's just coming from guys who've seen black shirt football, who've watched 2009 Bo Pelini defense, who've
You're right.
watched the highlights on YouTube over and over again.
And I
That's
know
B
you and
plus.
I both said this, like, because Quentin Newsom and Tommy Hill, the infamous interview we've talked about before, they're like, oh, we're playing elite defense. I feel like I can only say that be true about a couple games. I couldn't say that about like
Yep.
a good stretch, especially November. Like that's championship football season right there. And granted, our defense was always put in bad positions by the offense and the turnovers. But I feel like or anything in the A category for me is like you have to be like elite.
Every single game,
Right.
no fuck ups,
Every
no missing
play. Right.
tackles,
Right.
and yeah, basically executing every play correctly, like you being there on the play and wrapping up and making the tackle. That's an A.
Yeah.
Um,
You got anything else, or do we run through picks right now?
What would you give Matt Rule? What would you give his grade for this season?
I actually have a grade for coaching and a grade for the season overall. For the coaching overall, I'm going to give him a C plus because I feel like that's more on the offense, but it just seems like we didn't show progress week to week at things that were bad necessarily. Turnovers, even just like executing plays, certain play calling.
Right. I'd agree with you there. You said C minus?
I said C plus. That's what I gave him.
plus.
Because you also have to take into account, like, if I'm weighing this more heavily than I did when I made the grade, like the trajectory of the program as well, like that kind of coaching, like the way we're heading as well, not just like what was put on the field, I would probably grade it higher than C plus, but I didn't really take that into account too much.
Yeah. I think the trajectory is going in the right direction for sure. Absolutely. Overall team grade, Aaron.
My overall team, I
going
didn't
this.
do a team. Yeah, you go first on this one.
I'm going to go D. D. You didn't make it happen, man. You did. I actually don't know. Is that too harsh?
I went D plus. I wrote down D plus for my season grade.
Season grade, yeah.
I wasn't saying like the team as a whole overall, but like just like the season and what we produced as a team, not just my team. Because I think the team's a fucking A, bud. We're Husker hybrid. Yeah, we got dogs. Yeah. We can make shit happen. We just fell short, and so it's a D plus.
And we don't reward almost. We don't reward. Hey, better like A for effort. No, buddy, it didn't happen the way that it was supposed to happen. You lost 4 straight on the last 4 games of the season. Don't make a bowl game. That fucking sucks.
All by 1 scores.
And that's a D. And you know what? Next year you retake the fucking test.
You better fucking pass.
And you say, I'm getting an A, Mom. Yeah. I'm getting a fucking A, and we're going to the national championship, and we're winning a fucking 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, whatever it takes to hoist up the national championship trophy. And I said it before, and I'll say it again. If you're not with us now, don't be with us when we're hoisting up trophies, baby. Fire me up.
Yes. I couldn't have said that better myself.
Husker Radio, dude. Well, clips.
Yeah, that's the hey, clip it.
Picks. Clip it. But
yeah, we got 5 minutes here. We got to go a little fast. I just went down the order for just what it came up on ESPN. So the first one I had was the ACC, Louisville plus 2.5 at Florida State, over under 48.5.
Dude, hey, right now Louisville gets the upset plus 2.5. Louisville.
I have the over.
Over, nice.
That's the American Conference. SMU at Tulane. Tulane's a favorite by minus 3.5, over under 47.5.
We'll go over 47.5. Don't know too much about these teams, but I like the over.
I got Tulane minus 3.5. Big 12. Ooh, good game. Oklahoma State plus 15.5 at Texas, over under 54.5.
That's a big line for a championship game there, bud. That's a big line. I got nothing to lose. I'm not going to win this season. And, Aaron, you won. Congrats to you. Minus 15.5 or plus 15.5 Okie State.
I'm going the over. I think Texas might fuck around and score 40 plus.
Yeah.
Big Ten. Ooh, fuck yeah, Big Ten. Should have been us. Michigan State minus 23 at Iowa. Over under 35.5.
Just because I fucking hate Iowa a lot, and one of our buddies, Jacob Menz, said he's going to the game. I just want him to sulk and piss and vinegar and misery. Plus or minus 21.5 Michigan. Beat the fucking piss out of those Hawkeyes. Fucking pluck their feathers one by one, if they even have them. Not even a real bird.
Nope. I'm going with the over because Michigan's going to score 100 because Harbaugh's back and they're fucking scoring points. It's only 35.5. Conference USA, Michigan or New Mexico State plus 11 at Liberty, over under 55.5.
Lib. Minus 11.
I almost did the same one. I went with the over.
Nice.
Ohio, Miami, Ohio, plus 8 at Toledo, over under 44.5.
I don't even have this one on my fucking thing right now.
The MAC?
Yeah, it's not on the. It's not on. It's.
We can go on to Mountain West if you have that one.
There it goes. Let me do Toledo minus Miami plus 8.
I love it. I went with the over. Ed. Mountain West, Boise State minus 2 at UNLV, over under 58.5.
Boise's ass, bro. UNLV plus 2.5.
I had UNLV and I switched it to Boise. Boise minus 2.5 is what you have. Okay. Oregon at Washington, a rematch. Minus 9.5 in favor of Oregon, over under 66.5.
This is going to be the best game of the week right here, bud.
Yeah.
And I got the under 65.5.
Yeah, I like that. I have the over.
Okay.
Points, baby.
So you like it more. You don't like it, but you like the over more.
Bro, I always do overs. You know me, bro.
Yeah.
SEC, Georgia minus 5.5 at Alabama, over under 54.5.
Look, let's go Bama, dude. Nick Saban does it again. Hey, that little slippery fucker makes it happen.
I have the same fucking thing. I'm like, Alabama losing by more than 6 in the championship game?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't know. I don't think so. Last one. Oh, it's so sad. Sunbelt. We got App State at Troy, minus 6.5 for Troy, over under 52.5.
Let's go Appalachian State plus 6.
I love it. And let's take the over.
Damn it, let's do the over. All right. Well, folks, that was episode 30 of the Husker Radio podcast. Guys, really quick shout out. Aaron Worsfold just got engaged last weekend. Round of applause for the soon-to-be husband. We love it. We'll see you next week. Bleed red, shit corn, go
Big Red.
Red.
Go Big Red, baby. Let's go.